Yo, welcome back to the channel. This is take 15 on what if Deku was teleported to Black Clover part 1. Let's get straight into this video as Izuku Midoriya wakes up in a dark place. Huh? Where am I? Then as Izuku Midoriya starts to remember what happened and what he did. Flashback to when it was his final moments on the My Hero Academia universe. As he looked upon Shigaraki and All For One who have just taken down the remainder of Class 1A. And as Bakugo, Todoroki, Uraraka, Momo, and Kirishima were on the ground, trying the best they can to get up. But then, as Izuku Midoriya looked back at them and said, "This isn't your fight, it's mine." And I just want to thank everybody for believing in me and not giving up on me when I gave up on myself. And I just want to let you all know that you are all my friends, every single one of you. And Uraraka, I love you with all my heart. And I hope you can forgive me for what I'm about to do. And Bakugo, I shouldn't even have to say anything to you. You're like my brother. You are my brother, Bakugo Katsuki. And then as Izuku powered up to 100% of One For All and used Feijin at its full capabilities and rushed towards Shigaraki and All For One. And then as both Shigaraki and All For One started to shoot their tendrils out of their fingers and into Izuku's chest, taking One For All away from Izuku. And then as he said, "If you want One For All, take it! Take it all! One For All! Feijin! Explosion!" And then as Izuku used Feijin at its full capabilities and just basically did a classic Vegeta, Majin Vegeta, and blew himself up along with All For One and Shigaraki. As he was falling down from the sky, barely conscious, barely alive to be precise, and as he said, "Thank you, One For All." And as his lifeless body fell to the ground, and as everybody felt that impact of Izuku falling to the ground, they know that he was the number one hero who saved everyone and who unfortunately sacrificed his life to give us a free chance of freedom, chance to rebuild their society. And he was just an amazing hero for that. And for that, they put a statue of Izuku Midoriya raising his fist next to All Might. And now we time skip back to when Izuku remembered all of that. And then as Izuku Midoriya started to cry because he knew he could never see his friends. He knew he could never see Eri, Ochako, any of them again. But at the same time, he was glad that he sacrificed himself because they have a chance to have happy futures. They have a chance to become the greatest heroes, the best heroes they can be. And for that, Izuku was happy. And he had a smile on his face. "Hey there, Izuku Midoriya." As Izuku started to look around from where the voice came, And then as I said, well, it looks like you had a premature death. Uh, who are you? And I don't mean to be rude. Oh, it's okay. My name is Jack, and I'm here to give you a second chance. I will reincarnate you into a world that has magic and elves and demons and grimoires. And then as I snapped my fingers and gave him all of the knowledge of Black Clover, or the Black Clover universe. And then as Izuku was surprised about how a world like this can exist. And then as he said, well, I'm kind of weak compared to all of them. Oh, don't worry. I'm here to give you a boost. Or weapon. Or a weapon that can help you go toe to toe with them. Then as I snapped my fingers and then as a sword started to descend down upon Izuku. And then as I said, well, here you go, kid. You can summon the sword at will. All you have to do is just say its name. And then as Izuku grabbed the sword and then as he could feel a surge of power and just awesome power coming from it. And then as he said, well, what's the sword's name? Well, it's called the Night Sky Blade. Use it as you wish. And you can combine One for All and the sword together. That sword is a part of you now. Make sure you take care of it. I will, sir. Thank you so much. And also, I'll let you use 100% of One for All, including Black Whip and Float, and also Danger Sense and Fei Jin. But if you go past One for All, your bones will break as they did before you could use 100% of One for All. Or when you were using 100% of One for All, your bones will break. And also, I will give you some new clothes, and you will be wearing, and yeah, I'll give you new clothes right now. As I snapped my fingers and gave Izuku a black shirt with some black pants and also some military boots, but they are black. And then as he looked at his clothes and then he said, "Thank you so much, sir." Or as a matter of fact, I gave him the same exact shoes that he has, but just black. And as he looked at his new shoes and his new outfit, then as he said, "Thank you" to me. And I was like, "Don't mention it. It's fine." But anyway, I'm gonna teleport you in three, two, one. So I snapped my fingers and teleported Izuku into the Black Clover universe. And then as I looked, and then as I turned on my TV, and then as I said, "Well, this is gonna be interesting." And then as Izuku woke up in the middle of a forest, and then as he was looking around, gathering his thoughts, then as he said, "Well, looks like a start to my new adventure." And then as he heard a boy screaming, "You are my rival." And then I used 5% of One for All full counting to go see what the commotion was about and try to see if he could help with anything. And then as Asta got his grimoire, then as Izuku was standing there in awe about like the magic and the sheer presence that Asta was admitting. And then as he thought to himself, if things get out of hand or if the kid can't handle it, I guess I'll step in. And also, Izuku is about 17 years old at this point in time. Yeah, he's older than whatchamacallit. He's older than Asta and Yuno at this point. So as he watched everything that happened to canon, and when they both fist bumped, calling each other their rivals, Izuku jumped down and started to clap his hands. Wow, that was very touching. And then as Izuku jumped down from where he was hiding with a smile on his face, immediately Asta and Yuno thought that he was a threat, so as Yuno started to shoot some wind at Izuku or used wind magic at Izuku, and then as Izuku was able to easily dodge and say, "Oh, wait, you're misunderstanding. I'm not a." And then as Asta started to scream and run toward Izuku, and then as he lifted up his hand and said, "Come to me, Night Skyblade," and parried Asta's attack and used about 8% of One for All and dashed towards Asta, grabbing him by his throat, slamming him on the ground, and rushing towards Yuno. And then, as Yuno was surprised about how easily he was able to deal with Asta, he decided to go all out and shoot a huge wind towards him. But then, as Izuku used 100% in his right arm and said, "Detroit Smash!" And he threw his own gust wind attack at Yuno's attack, canceling the attack out. And then as he used 15% of One for All and in a flash teleported in front of Yuno, or more like ran very fast, but to Yuno it looked more like teleporting. And then as he sticked the Night Sky Blade at his throat, and his throat started to bleed a little bit. "Look, I'm not an enemy, unless you make me one. So please, you stop fighting and listen to me." And then as Yuno put his hands up in a suggestive sign saying, "We give up," or "I give up." And then as Izuku looked towards Asta, who was knocked down on the ground with his face implanted into the ground, and then as Yuno said, "Did you really have to subdue him like that?" "Yeah, he attacked me first, so I made sure that he wasn't a threat any longer." And then as he unsummoned the Night Skyblade, and then as Izuku said, "My name is Izuku Midoriya, and that's all I know about myself. And also I know how to use my powers, but that's basically it. I don't know where I come from. I don't know who my parents are. Can you help me?" Uh, as said in a confused tone. He doesn't really know how to react. First, they were attacking each other, and now this random guy is asking for help. And then, as said, "Yeah, sure, I could help you, but I'll just carry Asta back to our village. Do you want to come with us?" All right. And then, as Asta carried, as carried Asta to Hodge Village, and as Izuku followed suit. And then as he started to ask, a bunch of questions like who is he, um, what is his grimoire, is it powerful, stuff like that. And then as let it slip that he decided Asta and him are going to become the Wizard Kings and their rivals to see who is going to become the Wizard King. And then as Izuku had flashbacks to him and Bakugo, and then as Asta and are a spitting image of Izuku and Bakugo of when they were in UA. And then as he smiled and said, "Well, may the best man win, huh? Oh, yeah. And what are you gonna do now?" Um, I guess I'll just go wherever you guys go, since I have nothing else better to do. Um, all right. I hope we can become good friends, I guess. Oh yeah, most definitely. Then as Izuku stuck out his hand, and as shook his hand, and as Izuku shook his hand right back. And as Asta woke up about this time, and as explained the situation to Asta. And then as Asta apologized to Izuku for attacking him, and then as Izuku said, "Oh, it's okay. It's my fault. I should have um, introduced myself before coming off like that. I'm sorry." "Oh, it's okay. And said that. And then as Asta said, "It's okay." And then as Izuku looked at and then as he said, "Is he always like this?" And then as shook his head yes, and with his hands on his head. And then as Izuku started to laugh a little bit. Then as he said, "Deja vu," to himself. And then as looked at Izuku and said, "What did you say?" "Oh, nothing. Anyway, is this your village?" "Oh yeah, this is our village. Home sweet home," Asta said. But I'm not gonna continue to yell because that's just repetitive. And imagine me screaming while saying home sweet home. And as said, "For once, can you stop yelling?" And then as Asta said, "No," while he was yelling. And then let's time skip to when they actually get to the church. And then as introduced Izuku to Sister Lily and the father. And then as he said, "Pleasure to meet you guys." And then as Izuku asked, when is this entrance exam for the knights? And then as he said, "The time, because I do not know." And then as Izuku said, well, that gives us some time to train, right?" "Yeah," Asta and said in unison. So let's time skip to about when Asta trained with that guy, and trained her by himself, and Izuku was training as well. Even though he can use 100% of one for all, he still feels like there are some limits he can push past, or there may be some more levels he can reach, like 200%, 300%, and so on and so forth. So, as off our trio met back in the Hodge village, then as Izuku sensed Asta's power level and Yuno's power level as well. They've gotten increasingly stronger, though not as strong as him. Still, pretty strong. As they walked and walked and walked and walked and walked, and there were no animals to kill and eat. There was no water. All there was desert. Lots and lots of desert. But Izuku was kind of used to this because remember, in the original manga, Izuku didn't eat or sleep for 3 weeks straight. He didn't eat, drink any water, he didn't sleep for 3 weeks. Izuku was basically used to starving himself to death. Well, not to death, but still, he was used to starving himself. So, let's time skip to when they actually get uh, to the Clover Kingdom. Yeah, to the Clover Kingdom. I almost forgot it. As Izuku, Asta, and got to the Clover Kingdom, and then as Asta and were about to fall out unconscious, and then as Izuku pulled them back up and said, Are you guys tired already?" And then as Asta yelled at him, "How you not tired yet?" Eh, I don't really know, to be honest. Actually, I do know. I haven't. This is nothing to me considering I haven't slept, eaten, and drinking anything for 3 weeks. But they don't need to know that. And he said that all in his head, by the way. I don't really know, to be honest. I don't. But anyway, let's go to the capital, or to the Clover Kingdom. And as they stepped inside, Asta got some food, and Asta and had the same interaction as they did in canon, and Izuku did get something to drink. And as he then as he met up with Asta and And as Izuku had to use about 20% of One for All and sneak past the guards because he didn't really have a grimoire. So without a grimoire, you can't really enter into the magical Knights exam. So Izuku just had to sneak past the guards using 20%, but they did feel a huge gust of wind, but they just thought it was super windy outside, so they just ignored it. So as Asta and Yuno got into the arena, then as Izuku was smiling and waving towards Asta and Yuno, signaling for them to come over to him. And then as he met the Buha guy, whoever he is, a dickhead, but anyway, as he met the Buha guy, don't really know his name, and I don't really care to know his name. And then as he looked at Izuku, and as he seemed pretty weak, though he does have a lot of muscle and his scars on his arm, as you can see in the profile picture. And then as the birds started to flock all over Izuku, like all of the birds started to flock over to Izuku. And then as Izuku overheard some people saying that they are anti-birds, anti-magic birds. I mean, basically they flock to whoever has the lowest magic or has no magic at all. Some did flock to Asta, but mostly like 99.8% of them, they were flocking towards Izuku or all over Izuku. And then as he heard Asta screaming, and then as he looked towards what's happening, and as Yami was about to squish Asta's head, Izuku grabbed Yami's arm and said, "Would you please let go of my friend?" As Izuku gave off his signature smile. And then as Yami looked towards Izuku, and then as he said, "Well, it looks like you have a death wish too, kid. Or brat." And then as Yami was about to touch Izuku's head, Izuku used 5% of One for All and was easily able to grab Yami's hand and was crushing it just a little bit. Then as he was saying, "Please, don't touch me. I don't know where your hands have been." Izuku with a sinister smile, and then as Yami let go of Asta, then as he threw a punch towards Izuku, but Izuku was able to dodge it with his fast reflexes and kick Yami in the jaw. And then as Yami was surprised and was about to pull out his magical book, and then as Finrod stopped Yami and said, "Please, sir, please, can we not do this today?" And then as the same thing happened in canon of where everybody found out that that is Captain Yami, Captain of the Black Bulls, and how they were a bunch of um, troublemakers and destroyed everything where they stand. They destroyed everything. And then as Izuku was intrigued about these Black Bulls, so he decided that if Black Bulls were going to pick him, he would join, since he likes chaos, or he's used to chaos, by which I mean Class 1A and Bakugo and everybody else. So, as the provisional license, I mean, not the provisional license exam, but the Magical Knights exam started to begin. First thing that they needed to do was fly on a broom, but Izuku was able to use float and float up in the air without a grimoire, or magic to be more precise. And everybody was just shocked and a little bit curious about what Izuku's power is, because he doesn't seem to have a grimoire on him. All he has is what he's wearing, which is all black, and a buzz cut on the back of his head. So they're all wondering, who is this kid? And for the target practice, Izuku just used Air Force bullets and destroyed his targets. But other than that, Izuku and Asta did very, very poorly. Izuku doesn't really have a lot of hacks for him to deal with most of the of the magical exam, but some of them he did pass, but not all of them. So Izuku and Asta got a pretty terrible score, if I do say so myself. And then as Izuku said, well, I'm definitely gonna fail. And as everything happened on in canon, and then as it was Asta's turn now, and then as Asta got up and nobody raised his hand, and then as Yami started to talk down to Asta and tell him to give up and stuff like that, and then that really got under Deku's skin because he had flashbacks when Yami was saying all of this. He had flashbacks to where um, Bakugo used to bully him, calling him useless, nothing, worthless, and started to just bullied him and beat him and all of the other jazz. And then as One for All started to spark all over Izuku, and then as he yelled, Smash it! And punched Yami square in the jaw, Luffy style. And then as Yami felt the full impact of the One for All of the Detroit Smash that Izuku gave him. And then as he looked towards Asta and said, don't listen to a monster. Don't listen to anybody who doubts you. All you need is you. You. All you need to do is believe in yourself. Your abilities, your strength, your speed, everything. You need to believe in everything that you do, every step that you take, every breath that you take. If it's to achieve your goal, you can do it. And if you can't go on anymore, if you think that if you feel like you're just gonna give up, remember these words. Push past your limits and go beyond. Plus Ultra! As Izuku said that, he let off 100% of One for all throughout his body. And then as his hair spiked up a little bit, but not a lot. And as there was an immense wind pressure just pushing off of Izuku and everybody. And then as Asta said, or started to tear up a little bit, then as he said, yeah, you're right, Izuku. Plus Ultra! And yeah, I did skip the fights, but Izuku obviously took care of his person that he went up against fairly easily. So there was just no need for that, or in my opinion, there was no need for that because Izuku is already very OP. I don't really want to show off his abilities, or you guys know his abilities, but I don't want Izuku to show off his abilities just yet. And then as Yami heard what Izuku said, and then as Yami started to laugh, and then as he said, I like you two kids. Come with me to the Black Bulls. And then as everybody was just shocked. What? Everybody said in unison. And then as Yami said, yeah, both of you, you're coming with me to the Black Bulls. And also, kid, or brat, whatever your name is, if you punch me again, I'll erase you from this world. So yeah, as Yami started to release a lot of bloodlust, but Izuku didn't really feel it, but he did. He was a little scared, but he tried to act tough. As he said, sure, whatever. How long have I been recording? Jesus, almost 30 minutes. And as Yami took Asta by his head and started to drag as he started to drag Asta by his head, and then as Izuku followed right behind Izuku, as Izuku started to follow right behind Asta and Yami and Finral and the other guy. I don't remember everybody's names. I have been watching episode 1, 2, and 3, but I forgot it. I forget a lot. But after this, I'm going to watch episode 4, and once I do, I'm gonna make a plot about part 2 of this episode. But now that's where I'm gonna leave it off. What do you guys think will happen? Well, the Black Bulls accept Izuku. Will uh, Asta and Izuku go stronger? Will they get new friends? You will all have to find out on the next episode of What If Deku Was Teleported into Black Clover Part 1. And I will see you guys later. Peace out.